Donald Trump, the businessman turned politician, brought his unique brand of deal-making to the world stage. NATO, the cornerstone of transatlantic security, became an unwitting participant in his grand bargain. Trump, never one to mince words, declared NATO obsolete. European leaders choked on their croissants. Was this the art of the deal or the art of disaster? Trump's skepticism towards NATO was no secret. He repeatedly questioned its relevance, much to the dismay of European allies. His mantra, "Pay up or shut up," he demanded increased defense spending from NATO members, arguing that the US was carrying too much of the burden. Fair enough, some might say, but his abrasive style and disregard for diplomatic niceties left a bitter aftertaste. European leaders found themselves in an awkward position. They understood the need to share the burden, but were taken aback by Trump's bluntness. It was like being scolded by a wealthy relative who suddenly decided you weren't pulling your weight. America first, Trump's signature foreign policy doctrine sent shockwaves across the Atlantic. To European ears, it sounded suspiciously like America only. The message was clear. The US was putting its interests first, even if it meant ruffling European feathers. Trade disputes, disagreements over climate change, and Trump's cozying up to authoritarian leaders like Vladimir Putin further strained transatlantic relations. The trust deficit grew wider with every tweet and policy announcement. Europeans wondered if the US was still the reliable ally it once was.
The special relationship between the US and the UK, already strained by Brexit, faced new challenges. Trump's disdain for multilateralism and his preference for bilateral deals left Europeans feeling sidelined and apprehensive. Was this the dawn of a new era of transatlantic discord?
Trump's rhetoric had consequences. European nations, particularly those bordering Russia, grew increasingly anxious about the US's commitment to NATO's collective defense pledge. The unthinkable suddenly seemed plausible. Could the US abandon its allies in their hour of need? Faced with this uncertainty, European nations did what any rational actor would do. They started buying more guns. Defense budgets increased and military exercises became more frequent. From the Baltic Sea to the Black Sea, the sound of tanks rumbling and jets roaring became the new normal.
The irony was not lost on many Europeans. Trump's demands for increased defense spending had the unintended consequence of making Europe more militarized, not less. It was a classic case of unintended consequences, but with potentially dangerous implications.
Putin's grin, NATO discord =sign Russian delight.
While the West squabbled, Vladimir Putin, the master of divide and conquer, watched with a knowing smile. A divided NATO was a weaker NATO, and a weaker NATO played right into Putin's hands. He had long sought to undermine Western unity and restore Russia's sphere of influence.
From disinformation campaigns to cyber attacks to meddling in Western elections, Russia under Putin became adept at exploiting divisions within the West. Trump's presidency, with its chaotic foreign policy and penchant for alienating allies, provided a golden opportunity for Russian mischief-making.
The annexation of Crimea and the ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine served as a stark reminder of Russia's willingness to use military force to achieve its objectives. As NATO bickered over defense spending and Trump questioned the alliance's relevance, Putin was busy testing the West's resolve. NATO's uncertain future, united we stand, divided we fall.
As the dust settles on the Trump presidency, NATO finds itself at a crossroads. The alliance, forged in the crucible of the Cold War, faces an uncertain future. The challenges are many: a resurgent Russia, a rising China, internal divisions, and a global order in flux.
The question remains, can NATO adapt to this new reality? Can it overcome its internal divisions and present a united front against external threats? The answer, as always, lies in the realm of the unknown.
One thing is certain, the stakes are high. A strong and united NATO remains essential for maintaining peace and stability in Europe and beyond. But if the alliance succumbs to internal divisions and fails to adapt to the changing security environment, it risks becoming irrelevant, a relic of a bygone era. The future of NATO, like the future of the transatlantic relationship itself, hangs in the balance.